On the morning of November 7, 1940, Leonard Coatsworth and his dog Tubby were crossing the Tacoma Narrows Bridge when the bridge started violently swinging and twisting. Wind blowing, cables snapping, everyone but one survived. In November of 1938, the construction of the original Tacoma Narrows Bridge began. Only 2 years later, in 1940, it was complete. The bridge was famous and known for its unique designs. At this time, it was the third longest suspension bridge. The bridge was viewed with enthusiasm and awe by people in the area. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge was a 5,939-foot long, two-lane suspension bridge built from carbon steel. It had two towers that held it up, the East Tower and the West Tower. Under the bridge was the Tacoma Narrows. The water was more than 200 feet deep and currents moving around 8 miles per hour. Between the bottom of the bridge and the water was a nearly 200-foot difference. The main reason for the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was to connect McCord Airfield and the Puget Sound Navy shipyard. Another reason for the bridge was to create an easier way to get from Tacoma to Gig Harbor in the Key Peninsula. Locals did not like having to drive all the way around the Puget Sound just to get to a place separated by the Tacoma Narrows. The designer of the bridge, Leon Moisef, had a belief called the deflection theory. Leon believed that bridges should be able to withstand wind, making bridges more flexible. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge was built off this theory. Unlike other suspension bridges, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was built swaying and waving in the wind. The construction of this bridge cost $4 million less than most suspension bridges of this time. The deck had no supporting truss and was upheld by steel grinders that were mere 8 feet high. The bridge consists of way less steel than other bridges. Moisef's design used a lot less steel. He cut corners and left out necessary aspects that made these suspension bridges safe. Even though the bridge was visually unsafe, the bridge opened to the public on July 1st, 1940. The bridge was known for how it swayed and moved in the wind. It was so flexible and so sensitive that it really did bounce up and down and twist and roll from side to side to a dramatic and alarming degree. Since the bridge waved up and down, the bridge got its famous name, the Galloping Granny. The bank on the Tacoma side put up a sign saying how safe the bridge was and not to worry. The people in the area truly believed it was safe and would even plan on good windy days to go up and ride the Galloping Granny like it was a fun activity. Moisef was very proud of the bridge and claimed it was very safe. Less than 4 months after the bridge opened, on the morning of November 7, 1940, the bridge faced 42 miles per hour winds. Leonard Coatsworth and his Cocker Spaniel Tuppy were crossing the Tacoma Narrows Bridge at around 10 a.m. Coatsworth claims that the bridge was swaying more than usual that day, but he proceeded on regardless. Soon after he passed the first tower, the bridge started shaking and swaying horribly, so Coatsworth jumped out of the car. Panicking, he turned to the back seat to try and get Tubby out. He called his name and tried to reach and pull the dog out, but he wouldn't budge. Coatsworth got so scared he ran for his safety, leaving the dog in the car. At the end of the bridge, Howard Clifford, a photographer, was taking pictures of the falling bridge. After Coatsworth told him about the dog, he and Frederick Farquharson, a college engineering professor, decided to go back and try and save Tubby. As Clifford and Farquharson reached the car, Farquharson tried to coax the dog out, but Tubby snapped at his hand, biting his knuckle. After several desperate attempts to save the dog, Clifford and Farquharson realized they couldn't do anything to save Tubby. Clifford remembers this day vividly. As they were running back, they could hear gunshot-like sounds, later realizing this was the sound of cable snapping. As Clifford ran back, the ground rose and fell beneath him, causing his knees and hands to be all scratched up. Suddenly, chunks of the bridge fell off, causing Clifford to be thrown into the air. Each fall took him to his knees. Running got harder due to the pain. Clifford recalls, every 5 seconds, the bridge deck rose and fell violently with a twisting wave. The bridge had swayed up to 45 degrees to the side. The last person off the bridge was Howard Clifford. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge fell only 15 minutes into these 42-mile-per-hour winds. The deck had broken in half, suspension cables snapped, and parts from the bridge floated down the Tacoma Narrows. The winds left the towers bent and twisted but not fallen over. Workers collected over 7,000 tons of scrap metal that could be saved and sold to the military for scrap during World War II. 4,000 tons of steel from the towers and 3,000 tons from cables and deck. After the collapse, the bank almost immediately took down the sign. The collapse left locals shocked and angry. There were no human deaths, only injuries. Miraculously, the only death was the dog. Tubby was a 3-legged paralyzed black Cocker Spaniel belonging to Leonard Coatsworth's daughter. Today there is a trail in Gig Harbor, Washington dedicated to the dog named the Tubby Trail. Even though the collapse was years ago, the car and Tubby still haven't been recovered. To contribute to the loss of Tubby and the car, Leonard Coatsworth received $815. After studying the collapse, engineers found the air-elastic flutter was the cause of the collapse. The pressure of the high winds caused stress on the suspension cables and made them snap and whip around. The lightness of the bridge and lack of material allowed the twisting and bending of the bridge during the collapse. After the failure of the bridge, Leon Moisef's career fell apart and he died nearly 3 years later. The failure of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge is a reminder to all designers. It is a reminder of what will happen if they cheat and do less than what is needed for a safe and stable bridge. The result of the bridge and the death of the collapse is on their mind while designing new bridges. These new designs are now put to a wind restraint test to assure that the Tacoma Narrows Bridge incident will never happen again.